Welcome to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast, a space where we break free from tradition, creating a wedding day totally authentic to you and your love story. I'm Abby, UK wedding planner and owner of Elegance Unlimited, here to help you plan a wedding day that feels uniquely yours. Join me for planning tips and advice, endless inspiration, and a pocket full of calm within the chaos that is wedding planning. Consider me a trusted friend, here to walk you through it all. From injecting fun splashes of personality into your day, to reinventing tradition completely, all whilst focused on building a day bespoke to your dreams and desires. I cannot wait to get started, so let's get planning. Welcome back to another episode of the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. My name is Abby, UK wedding planner. You would have heard in the intro, you know what you're in for. Thank you so much for joining. I'm really, really grateful to have you here. My usual kind of spiel. If you're brand new and you found me, thank you so much. I don't know how you found me, but I'm grateful that you did. And if you are returning and you've listened to more than one episode, then thank you so much. I am super, super grateful. It has been a busy couple of weeks for me as I'm recording this. It's been literally nonstop, and I've managed to find some time to still do my normal podcast recording. I don't want to miss any weeks. I don't want there to be any gaps, but it's one of those where I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to do. Am I still going to have time to do it? And I'm glad I've made the time, because honestly, I tell you all the time how much I love sitting down and just talking to you and giving the wedding inspo and talking everything wedding. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about this episode. I think it's going to be a good one. But yeah, always like to do a little introductory. Thank you so much for listening. And it's really nice to see all of the listens coming in every single time I post an episode. You know, nice to know that I'm not just like talking to myself, although I would do that and I'd be more than happy. But it's really nice to see that there's so many people each week listening to the episodes, enjoying them, and actually getting real help and real inspo and just really finding them useful. So yeah, really, really grateful for that. But anyway, enough of the soppy stuff. Thank you so much for coming back. This is episode 17, I believe. Today, we are talking about something really, really fun, and it's one I've wanted to do for a little while now. We're talking about pets at weddings, animals at weddings, right? The chaos and the thing everybody tells you not to do is to bring animals to weddings. But we're talking about it today. How to include them, all of those kind of tips and ideas on how to include them and the best practices for making sure it's still a smooth wedding day. We're going to go through it all. So do not fret. We're going to get straight on into it as usual. If you need any links or to be sent anywhere, you know, more information about me, more information about the podcast, different episodes, Facebook group, social media, all of that stuff is in the show notes. And we'll give a little reminder about that at the end as well. But for now, let's get straight on into it, shall we? So, pets at weddings or animals at weddings in general. Of course, we want to do it, right? Our pets are our family. They're important to us. And it's become like a real big thing for people to be finding ways to incorporate their pets and their fur babies and their whatever you want to call them into their wedding day. And I think it's lovely. I do. I really, really think it's a great idea. Whether it's a dog, a cat, a horse, a lizard, an alpaca, whatever you've got going, donkeys, I don't know, whatever kind of animal or pet you've got going, there is a way to incorporate them or the essence of them, honoring them into your wedding day. And honestly, when I was doing my notes for this episode, I always do some notes because as good as I am, I need some direction. I need some kind of cue. Otherwise, I will completely forget what I'm talking about and I go off on a tangent. We've seen that happen a couple of times. So, you know, when I was doing my notes for this episode and kind of jotting down, oh, I want to talk about this and make sure I talk about this, there were so many things that I was coming up with thinking, oh, you could do that. Oh, I've seen that done before. And oh, you could do this. So there are really heaps and heaps of ways that you can be incorporating your pets into your wedding day. And if you can't have them physically there, you know, we're going to talk about both, whether you have them physically there at the day and whether you have like some way to honor them on the day because your venue won't allow them to be there or it's just not physically possible. There are plenty of ways to honor them as well and have like a nod to them in your wedding day. So loads and loads of options for us there. But the one thing I wanted to start off by saying, and it kind of encompasses what this podcast's about and what my message as a wedding planner is always about, and that is that it's a perfect way to incorporate something bespoke and personalized and true to you on your wedding day really quickly and really easily, right? Because that's you, that's your life, that's your personality. It ticks all of those boxes straight off the bat if you are wanting to include your pets in your wedding day, because we talk often, right, about the traditional wedding day. We talk about the way things are usually done, the typical way things are done. And although we have heaps and heaps and heaps of options out there right now for different types of weddings, different styles of weddings, different things you can do, it's still very easy, I think, to get sucked into that like copy and paste. Oh, I've seen this, so we'll do that. I've seen this somewhere, so we'll do that. This is what's normally done, so we'll do that, right? But what we want to do, and what I'm always encouraging you to do, is to bring more of that personality into your day. Do, copy that idea that you've seen, adapt it and make it yours. Change it up a little bit, put your own spin on it. It's all about making it yours in your own way and using all the inspiration we can see around us, because it's not going anywhere and we should be using the inspiration we see around us. It's important, but we don't want to just do that copy and paste. Copy and paste. Yeah, seen that, do it here. Seen that, do it here. Let's make it our own. And having pets at your wedding day and incorporating them into your journey and all of those kind of things, it is honestly one of the easiest ways to give your day a bit more personality. A bit of a boost, shall we say. So, to start off, let's talk about if you are physically having your pet at your venue, at your wedding day, if they are able to physically be there and you want them to be, and, all those things, let's talk about how we can make that happen and what you could include them in your wedding day. The first thing you want to do is check what you are allowed to do. So it's all well and good being like, yeah, we're bringing the dog to the wedding, we're bringing the cats over. Check what you're allowed to do. Check what the venue will allow you to do. Some of them won't allow them in inside spaces, or they'll have to be outside, or they can only be there on a lead at certain times during the day. I don't know. You're going to have to check with your venue specifically what you're allowed to do. And if this is a non-negotiable for you, if you are like, no, we absolutely have to have our dog with us on the day. I'm going to keep coming back to the dog example today, by the way, because it's quick and easy for me. But know that I'm referring to all animals, every single animal when I'm doing that. Yeah, if it's a non-negotiable for you and you absolutely want your dog to be there with you on the day, or dogs, plural, check first. Base your venue around that. When you're doing the tours, find out what you're allowed to do, where they're allowed to be, and see what's going to sit right with you. That's something you should be checking right off the bat. How could you include your dog or your pet or your animal in your wedding day? A common way and a common thing that people do is they've included them as like the ring bearer, and they'll have like the rings on like their collar, or they'll be carrying something in their mouths. If you've trained your dog to be able to do that, very clever, then they can walk down the aisle. You want to make sure that they are able to do that. Do they have the recall to be able to do that? Are you going to walk them down on a lead? Or we would always recommend that. Keep them on a lead. Same for cats. Same for, what did I suggest earlier? Horses, lizards, alpacas, all those things. Keep them on a lead. We don't want them running off. We don't want to lose them. We don't want them to be running around the venue thinking we've got a lizard on the loose. SOS, lock the place down. But you could do that. You could have them incorporate it into your ceremony. They're walking down the aisle. They're part of that processional. Maybe your bridesmaid and your groomsman is like walking them down. That's really cute. And I've also seen them be like a flower dog, a flower animal, where they've got like the flower collar on, or maybe a little headband, or like flowers attached to their harness. And oh my gosh, it looks so cute. It looks so cute. And if they are happy to do that and they're happy to wear things, I know some dogs, you'd put something around their neck that they're not used to, and they're like, absolutely not, thank you. And they will spend the entire day trying to get it off by any means possible. They will be scratching and pulling and biting. So just see what they're going to be comfortable with, okay? But I love the flower collar thing. I do. I think it's so cute, and it's going to look so good in pictures as well. I've seen some people do, they'll like let them go at the end of the aisle and be like, off you go, down to mum and dad, down to mum, whatever, whoever they're going down to. It's a bit more risky in that sense that you can't guarantee they're going to make it to the end. They might get distracted, right? So if you're having them walk down with someone that can be like, come on, keep going, like they're on the lead, they're being pulled along gently to get to the end of the aisle, that can be a really nice idea. And I've seen that done before and it worked really, really well. Or another option you could do is to just bring them for some photos in the day. Like, do you have someone that's not coming to your wedding and they could bring your pet there for a couple of hours or half an hour, I don't know, and you can get some pictures with them, because they do look, I've seen, pictures where people have in the wedding dress and the suit and the flowers and they've got their dog there. It's always an amazing photo, family photo, right? If you don't have kids yet, but this is like your family, even if you do have kids, right? But even if this is your little bubble, this is your little family, you've got you, your partner, and your dog, you're brand new, you're about to endeavor on that journey of having kids and starting a family, right? Right now, this is your bubble, this is your little family. So, of course, you want a picture of all of you together on your wedding day as you become like legally like a married family, right? Totally get it. So if you can bring them there for some photos, or maybe you have them there for, the morning part of the day, the ceremony, get some photos done, and then someone comes to pick them up afterwards and takes them home. That's an option as well. Think about logistically what's going to work. And we talked about this. This ties in really nicely with an episode or two ago where we talked about the wedding timeline, right? You're wanting to think about, how is the day going to work? How's the day going to flow? What parts of the day would make sense to have our pet there for? And how are we going to incorporate that into the day? How are we going to make it make sense? What time is it going to make sense for them to get picked up at? What time could they get dropped off at if you're doing it the other way around? Think about the process of all those things and how it can be incorporated into your day. It's doable by all means. We will get to it, but you'll hear people say that it's too difficult and it's not doable and it's not worth doing. I disagree, but we will get to that. There are many ways that you can adjust your timeline a little bit or make it work and incorporate that into the day. If you're letting your photographer know, it's really important to us to get some photos with our dog. They're not going to be here for the day. Maybe they can't be there. Or maybe you have the type of dog that they're just not going to settle and it's going to be a nightmare, but you really want them there. You can say to your photographer, at this time, the dog's being dropped off. We've got an hour. Can we go off and get some pictures with them? Maybe your venue's near some fields and you can go and take a walk, or you're close to the beach and maybe you're having a beach wedding, I don't know, and you've got some pictures on the beach with the dog. Whatever it might be, put it in the timeline. This isn't an episode about timelines again, and I could go off on one because I love talking wedding timelines, as you know. But just something to think about. If they're incorporated into the ceremony part of the day, think about how it's going to make sense. Do you want the dog there for the entire ceremony? Are you going to have someone bring them in just towards the end so they can walk back with you? Or think about it. You know your dog, you know your animal, you know your pet, whatever you're bringing. Think about what's going to work. I have heard of people, and I haven't been able to be a part of a wedding that's done this, but I've heard of people that wanted to do this, and I was like, oh, that sounds like such a good time, that have gone down the aisle on their horse. I mean, what an entrance, right? What an entrance. It's a bigger animal, I'll give you that. It's rather large. But if you're a horse girly and you love your horse and they're really important to you and you want them included on the day, who says you can't? If you've got an outdoor ceremony and you know your horse, you know that it's going to be relaxed and understand what you're asking it to do, who says you can't get it to walk you down the aisle? What a moment that would be. And then you just hop off, plan strategically, I would say, with your dress and everything else, and have people there to help you and all the other things. But it's definitely doable, right? Definitely doable. And that would just be, the pictures would be incredible. Or again, maybe you're getting someone to bring them. Maybe your venue, maybe you have a farm, right? Maybe you live on a farm and that's where your horse lives. Maybe you are going off to have some pictures in your dress, in your suit, in whatever, with your horse and with your animals after the ceremony. Maybe that's included in your timeline. That's a really easy way to include them in. If they're not at the venue, could you get someone to bring them by? Could you go there at the end of the day? Could you get dressed up maybe in your dress again, in whatever you've worn again, a couple of days later, and go and get some pictures? I think this is an important thing to remember as well, that although your wedding day is your wedding day and you want to do as much as you can on that specific day, right? It's really important to you to do. Who says that you can't put on your outfits again, get a bit dressed up again, do your makeup a bit nice? Maybe you want to hire someone to do your makeup again. I don't know. But you're getting in the same outfit again, and then you're having some pictures taken with them on a different day. There's no one telling you that you can't do that. Okay. You will be the only people that know that didn't happen on that day. Okay. And either way, you're still getting some really lovely pictures where you're in the dress, you're in the outfit, you're in the suit, whatever you were wearing that was really important to you. And you've managed to get some pictures with your little furry friend in those same outfits, right? It's giving the same vibes. It's giving the same energy. And then you get to wear it again. So win-win, Maybe you do decide, actually, our dogs really love the beach. We want to do a beach photo shoot. There's no way we can make that work on the wedding day, but we'd love to be in our wedding outfit. So let's do it a month or two later, get back in them again. Once we're back from honeymoon, we've settled down and everything else, let's go and organise a photo shoot again with our photographer and get some pictures done with our pets involved. No reason you can't do that. And also extends the fun, right? We're extending the fun, we're extending the memories, we're giving ourselves more opportunities to create amazing memories. And that's what it's all about, right? If you have the kind of venue that will allow it and you can have your pets or your animals just kind of mooching around the venue for the day, absolutely fine. What I would suggest is that you need to have someone keeping an eye on them and it's not going to be you. So think about that process and how you can make sure that they're safe and that they're not damaging things at the venue and they're not running off and getting lost or whatever else. Think that through. But if they've got a really chill dog that's just happy to just sit and chill and enjoy the sunshine, maybe you've got a summer wedding, then that's definitely doable as well. Just to have them there as part of the atmosphere, the ambiance, you know? I think that's a really, really lovely idea. Now, if you can't have your animals physically at your wedding venue on your wedding day, or maybe you don't want to, either's fine. There are plenty of ways that you can honor them and bring nods to them into your day and make them noticed and, make that really bespoke, personalized feel. Heaps of ways to do that. So let's run through some inspo right now and see if I can inspire you with some ideas that you may have seen or you may not have heard of. Really nice, easy way to incorporate them is to include them in your ceremony. So if you're doing vows or speeches or readings or anything, depending what kind of wedding ceremony you're having, whether you're doing registrar, celebrant led, humanist, whatever you're going for, you'll either be able to include a little nod to them or a little mention of them in your vows or in the reading that your celebrant does, or if someone does a reading or a speech, you can include them in that. And that's a really nice way to just, mention them and let them know that, oh, you wish they could be here and your little family and listing off all the pets you have, whatever it might be. Really, really nice way to just, they're in there. They've been mentioned. They're a part of your day and you're going to remember that. Everyone's going to go, oh, yeah, the dog. Oh, that's so cute. And, it's making your day about you. And that's what this is all about. You could be including them in your wedding signage or your stationery. So maybe you've got lots of pets, or maybe you've had pets in the past that have passed on and you have new pets now. So you've got all of these lovely memories of your animals. Maybe you have enough to name a table after each one of them, or include them in your table names. Maybe you're doing your favorite places and your favorite things, and you can include your dog's names in there. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe you include them in your wedding logo. I don't know if we've talked about wedding logos on the podcast yet. I love a wedding logo. And if you don't have one, you should definitely do one. It is essentially just like a little graphic, a little image that might be made up of your initials or something, a little image or picture that just represents you, and it goes on all of your stuff, all of your menus, all of your invitations, all of your place names, all of your signage, and it's somewhere there really small, just to give that consistency, to give that feeling that this has been planned well, right? They've got the same things on every single piece of stationery. It's a running theme throughout all of their stuff. It's consistent and it brings together that really nice, concise feel. But that if you're doing your own styling or if you're incorporating those things, it's a really nice thing to do. Have a quick Google of wedding logos and you'll know what I mean. But you could be, if you have a cat or a dog or a donkey and they're really important to you, you could be getting a little image of them on all of your signage, just at the top, like a little header to the thing, a little cute little drawing of your dog or your cat or something. And it'd be something that people notice. Like, people notice the little details, they notice those little things, and they'll be thinking, oh my gosh, look, that's so cute. There's Poppy, the dog. How sweet. And then it's adding that other layer of personality into your day. People are going, oh, they've really thought about this. That's so cute. And it is cute. It's really cute. And it's a nice way. Then you'll be looking at it and thinking, oh, it really feels like they're a part of our day now because they're incorporated literally into the decor and the styling. If you don't want to go small and you want to go for real big, large, in your face images of your animals, have you seen where people have done those giant cutouts of their dogs or cats' faces and they've had them just for people to like hold on the dance floor and be dancing with, and they're enormous, but I think they're incredible. I think they are so good. And you could whip those out of an evening and be like, right, everyone, these are your props for the evening. And people will use them. If you have props there for people to use, people will use them. Once the drinks start flowing and people are loosening up a little bit and they've eaten and they've talked and they're letting their hair down, people will use what you put out for them if it's obvious that they can use it. So if you wanted some cardboard cutouts of your animals on the day for people to dance with, and then they're in all the pictures as well. This is the thing. Pictures of your animals' faces are in your wedding pictures, and that'll be really nice for you to look back on as well. They'll really feel like they were part of the day. More subtle and kind of meaningful ways you could do is signature cocktails named after your dogs. Maybe it's really popular to have those signature cocktails or signature drinks that are named after puns of your names or things that you like or whatever it might be. If you could do that, by all means, about your pets and their names and cute little things like that. Think of your favorite drink and turn it into like a doggy pun or a horsey pun, something like that. And then people will be like, oh yeah, I'll have one of those, please. And it's part of your wedding day. Really, really nice idea. You could incorporate them into the cake. So I've seen a few ways people have done this. Some people have done them, if you get like the people on top of the cake, your cake topper. Some people have had little dog statues or cat statues or whatever animal you've got next to them as part of like their cake topper. I've seen people have the really cute ones where it's like the dog's eating some of the cake and there's a little like cake made to look like your dog, and then they've taken a little chunk out the cake as if they've been digging it or eating it. That's really cute. I saw one recently where they had like a clear glass layer to the cake. So they had like 4 or 5 tiers, and one of them was a clear one, and inside there was little statues of their dogs in there with like cake crumbs and stuff. And that was really cute. People are going to come and look at your cake and be like, oh my God, look, that's their dogs. How cute. Really, really nice idea. I mean, get creative with it, right? Think about what's going to be meaningful to you. If you want to get people talking about it, maybe you just want something subtle and you don't want people to notice and be talking about it, but you just want to have them there. So then include them in the stationery and the signage, and it's like, oh, that's really sweet. Or you want that big statement where you've got your big cardboard cutouts, or you've got it in the cake and people are going to go over and look at it and be like, oh my God, that's so cute. Yeah, there's options either way, right? You could even just go and wear like a locket with their picture in, or have a bracelet or a necklace with their name on. There are so many things you could do, and you can have it on whichever level of subtle to extreme that you want to go. You could go veering on the level of extreme again. You could change into your evening outfits, right? And you could have custom personalized t-shirts with your animals' faces on it in like giant, and you could change into something really fun, really comfy, ready to dance in. And you've come out and you've got your pets all over your outfits. That would be cool, right? If those are the kind of people you are, make it fun, make it you. I actually really like that idea about the custom t-shirts and stuff. Maybe you're giving everyone, I don't know what your budget is. If you've got a really crazy budget and you want to do those as your favors for the day, maybe you're incorporating them into your favors. Or you could do cookies with your dog's face on as your wedding favors, maybe. Or you do everyone a custom t-shirt with your dog's face on it. if you really want to go for it, I would not be judging that. I'd think that's a really cool idea. Everyone gets a t-shirt. Let's go. Or little mini flags that people could have with your dog's face on, whatever it might be. Get creative. Think about what's going to work for you guys. Think about what fits with the theme of your day, what's going to be the right vibe. There are so many options, but I think that covers quite nicely what people can do if you want your animal there and what you can do if you don't want them there. Things I've seen a lot on social media, don't get me wrong. It would take not very much searching for you to go and have a quick look on social media. But I've had at a friend's wedding, they had their dog there for the ceremony. So like I was talking about earlier, the dog walked down the aisle. They had them there for the drinks reception. They were quite a chill dog. They were just sitting, chilling, moving around from person to person. And then they had some pictures with them. And then someone that wasn't at the wedding, they then came, picked the dog up, went home, and then they had the rest of the day without them. That worked really, really nicely. I talked about someone wanting to walk down the aisle on the horse. Love that idea. Do you know what else I've also seen? Alpacas. Okay. You can bring them from entertainment at the drinks reception, right? Have some little alpacas walking around with a handler. Don't just have them roaming free. If you have your own alpacas, that could definitely work, but you'd need someone to obviously keep an eye on them. There are companies that do this, and I've met them. I've did a wedding show with a company that had these 3 alpacas, 2 or 3, that they bring to your wedding day. You can hire them out, and they wear little bow ties and they look so freaking cute. And it's a talking point, right? Everybody's going to be like, oh my God, how cute. There's alpacas here with bow ties on. And you can bring them to your drinks reception. What was it? It was a friend telling me someone had reindeer at their wedding, like a winter wedding. Love that idea. Whatever feels right for you, whatever's going to make the most sense. Even if you don't have pets and you just want animals included on your wedding day, your animal people, and you just want to have something that feels right for you, by all means, you can do that. Bring the alpacas, maybe you do donkeys. I don't know. I don't know what else you could have got. You could do anything. There's no rules, right? You could make anything work. If your favorite animals are pigs, you could, I don't know, bring pigs in bow ties and, I don't know, have them at your wedding day somehow. There's ways to make it work, right? I think there are heaps of ideas. Brainstorm, get creative. You will know what feels right for you and what fits like the right idea. But I think it's a really nice way to personalize your day. and a nice way to make your day feel really memorable, make it feel like yours, make it feel really, really personal. Now, there are some important things to remember, some things you want to think about, okay? I mentioned it earlier. People will often say, not necessarily just people in the wedding industry, a lot of people in the wedding industry, but some people will just say animals at weddings are a disaster. Don't do it. I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. I think anything can be a disaster if you don't plan it properly, right? That's essentially what it comes down to. So you will get some people saying animals at weddings don't mix. It's not the right environment to have animals at. It's not the right place for them. Again, don't agree. And if someone is telling you that, they're probably not the right person for you to be working with if you really want pets at your wedding, right? If you're not fussed about it, then no big deal. But the way I look at it is that just because it's more complex and just because it requires maybe more planning, does that mean that you shouldn't be doing it? No, I don't think so. The only thing that it's going to require is more detailed planning. That's the only thing. If you've got someone saying to you, it's too complex to have animals at weddings, it's going to be a disaster, it's going to be carnage, they're going to be all over the place, they're going to make a mess, they're going to, jump up at you and all these other things and make a mess, or the horse is going to be there, it's going to get in the way, and the alpacas are going to whatever. It's just a planning issue, right? You just need to plan well. That's all it comes down to. If someone is telling you you shouldn't be having animals at weddings, they should not be the person for you helping you to plan that wedding, essentially. All it comes down to is mitigating those risks. If you are worried about the dog running loose on the wedding day, well, you should be making sure that you have someone there to handle them at all times. It shouldn't be you, it shouldn't be your partner. If they're chill and they will just sit there, then a family member or a friend or a guest is fine. But if they are going to be unsettled, maybe they need somewhere quiet to go. This is another really important thing to think about. Give them somewhere to go and chill. There's a lot of people there. Maybe you're having 50, 60, 100 guests. I don't know. That's overwhelming for a lot of animals. So make sure that when they've had their spot in the limelight, they've got somewhere that they can go and chill out, relax, and not get too overstimulated. This is when issues happen. If you're not thinking ahead and knowing your animal and thinking, actually, what could go wrong? He tends to get upset with big crowds. So let's just do the ceremony thing and then let him go somewhere quiet, and we'll bring him out for some private pictures later. Or maybe we're not going to bother with the ceremony at all because we know he's going to get overwhelmed. So we'll just bring him for some photos later on. You know your animal, you know what's going to work. And the idea that animals and weddings don't mix, animals and poorly planned weddings don't mix. You have to plan for these situations. You have to mitigate those risks. So it's the same with any other element of your wedding day, right? You're not going to, if you don't plan for it properly, then it might go wrong and then you might have issues, right? If your biggest worry about walking down the aisle is that you're going to trip over your dress, well, obviously, when you're getting it altered and you're buying it and trying it on, you're going to make sure that it's the right length so that you don't trip over it, right? If your worry about the food is that someone's going to have an allergic reaction, well, how are we mitigating that risk? We're making sure we know what people's allergies are before they come on the day and that we're passing that information along. If you are worried that they're going to play music in the evening that's not your vibe and there's specific songs you don't want played, well, then you're letting your DJ know or your band know, do not play these songs, please. Anything but these. This is my do not playlist. Fine. You're mitigating the risk of a song coming on and you're thinking, oh no, we didn't want this song played tonight. No, this is not the vibe. You're mitigating the risk. The same thing with animals at weddings. You're planning ahead. Okay, well, how is this going to go? It might take a little bit more planning. It might be a bit more logistically complex, but there's no reason to say that you can't do it. If you've checked with your venue and, it can work, they're allowed to be there, then it's a case of, okay, let's map out from the second they arrive, and who's bringing them, by the way, from the second they arrive at the venue, what's happening from that moment. Let me map out every single one of their movements in the same way when we talked a couple of episodes ago about timeline, and you're mapping out your movements from the morning of getting ready, getting pictures done, going to the venue, doing your interviews, having the ceremony, then we're doing this, then we're doing that. You've mapped that out. Now do a separate little mini timeline for the dog or for the cats or for whoever's bringing whatever animal you're bringing along, right? What time are they getting there? Where are they going to be? They can't come to the ceremony straight away. We've got an hour to go. So where are they going to be from that time? We're going to make sure that they've had a wee before so that they're not going to wee going down the ceremony aisle. Either way, it might happen. And I think there's a line, right, between any animal that you bring is unpredictable to a degree. There's only so much you can plan for. If you bring your horse down the aisle and it decides I'm going to go to the toilet right here, there's not much you can do about that. So let's just make the aisle a little bit bigger in case it does decide to go, and then it's not covering your guests in horse manure. I don't know. Or you've got someone on hand, maybe the dog knocks over a bud vase when it's going down the aisle because it's sniffing and it's excited and whatever else. Fine. Likely, if you had me there or a planner or coordinator, we'd be looking out for those things and thinking, let me just go pick that up, dry that up quickly so no one's slipping on it. Fine. Problem solved. And we do that quietly and discreetly. Okay. Then you're thinking about, okay, where are they going to be at this time? Okay, well, we need to start eating at this time actually. So they need to be picked up before this time, but we wanted to do pictures before then with them. So where can we squeeze in that time to have pictures done with them? And where are we going to go for that? And how are we going to make sure that they are watered and fed and they have everything they need? If we're picking up a dog poo, where's it going? Where can we put that on the date? Think about those things. And I think things like that are going to make you feel a lot calmer as well. You're going to feel a lot more relaxed and a lot more like, oh, okay, this is going to be absolutely fine. We know what we're doing. There's a plan in place. And there is still that element of unpredictability. If you are really worried that something might go wrong with having pets on your wedding day, maybe you're not the type of people who should be having pets at your wedding day. And that's absolutely fine. If you think you're going to be so anxious the whole time that something's going to go wrong or they're going to break something or make a mess, or maybe you're still training the dog and they might jump at someone, or you're worried about your dress getting mud on it, then don't do it on the wedding day. Do, like we said earlier, get dressed up again a month or two later, go for a photo shoot, and then it doesn't matter if they jump at you and get mud all over you because you're not going to wear it again. This is your second time, luckily, getting to wear it, and it's probably going to go into storage after this, or you can get it professionally cleaned, And I'm going to put it out there now and say I am always up for animals at weddings. I don't do enough weddings where people bring their animals. I would like more people to bring their animals to the weddings that I do, please. Because who doesn't love a dog in a little flower collar or a cat in a little flower harness? Oh my gosh, so cute. As long as the animal is happy and you're making sure that as a priority they are comfortable and they are happy, well, you can work out all the other logistics. You can make it work, right? They even do like dog chaperone services, right? Or like a little doggy daycare that you could hire for your wedding day. People will do anything now. There are suppliers for everything. So if you want them there for the day and you want to be able to call on them when you need them for picture opportunities or to have them included in certain things, then have someone on site that can keep an eye on them and can bring them whenever you need them there, right? If that's a priority for you, then some of your cost should be going to that. Some of your budget should be allocated for that. And I think those are the main things, right? Just make sure that it's not you having to worry about it. They are not a human guest. They are different from a human guest. They require someone to be with them and handling them at all times. Okay. Make sure that it's not someone that is a key priority for your day that you need around. Make sure that your friends and family are getting to have the day off and relax. Think about things like that. If you have, like I say earlier, the most chilled dog ever that's just going to pooter around after you and sit down wherever you sit and is chill and easy, then your issues are limited. But I don't know many dogs like that. I really don't. Most of them are very excited, and they're going to be excited to see as well all of their best friends in the same place, right? These are the people that love and care about you the most. Likely your dog, maybe not your cat. Cats don't like many people. And that's okay. They do their own sweet thing. But dogs are going to be excited to see everyone. So think about that. Is it going to be too much? Do we need to bring them out when actually it's not going to matter so much? They're so excited to see all their friends. Maybe you don't bring them out for the ceremony, and drinks reception is a better place for that. Fine. Map it out, think some things through. Like I say, make sure they've got somewhere to go and wind down and be quiet and have a nap. It's a lot for them as well. It's overwhelming. But there are definitely ways that you can get them included, definitely ways that you can incorporate them into the day. So many ways that you can include pets as part of your wedding day. And I'm a big fan of it. So those are all my tips for now, guys. Honestly, that's all I've got to say. It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be difficult. There's just some inspo there to kind of get your creative ideas flowing, to see what might work for you on your wedding day. Have a think of it through. But I want to know, are you having your pet at your wedding day? What are we doing? How are we making it work? Have you included them already? In which case, please send me pictures. If you are including them but you haven't yet, please send me pictures of them anyway. I would like to see all of them. How are you going to honor them on the day? I want to know it all. Put it in the Facebook group. So where we're talking this week all about extending the topic. We're going to be talking about this week's episode, and I always put a post up for people to talk there if they want to. Come and put your dog pictures in the Facebook group, please. It's called Your Wedding Unlimited. The link is in the show notes. Please make sure you come and do that. I always want to see dog pics or cat pics or donkey pics or alpacas, whatever you've got going. I want to see pictures of them, please, and thank you. And that is it from me today. a shorter one, I believe. In the meantime, come and join the Facebook group, come and have a chat, come and follow me on Instagram. If you need some help on your wedding day with the planning and the logistics and coordinating and all those things, come and speak to me. The links are also in the show notes for Elegance Unlimited, my wedding planning business. I would love to hear from you. All the other things, Instagram, Facebook group, email signups, it's all there. Come and find me. Let's have a chat. Send me a DM. If you've got stories to share, please send them my way. Otherwise, we will chat next week. Thank you so much for listening. You are the best. And we'll speak next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I hope you're feeling inspired and excited to create your dream wedding day and those lasting memories. Don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I'll be back next Wednesday with more tips, advice, and inspiration. In the meantime, don't be a stranger. Come and find me on Instagram and TikTok at Your Wedding Unlimited, where I share even more wedding ideas and behind-the-scenes insights. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube at Your Wedding Unlimited. And if you're looking for even more support, come and join my private Facebook group, Your Wedding Unlimited. It's an amazing community of fun and authentic engaged couples, packed with extra tips, advice, and insights to guide you along your journey. If you have any questions or need more info, you can DM me or send me an email at yourweddingunlimitedpodcast@gmail.com. All links and details will be in the show notes. Until next time, happy planning!